Hi, my name is Eddie Gibb, and my wife Kath and I live in Cole Porter Avenue, which is in Christchurch, and we've been here about 4 or 5 years since the house was built. Well, we were forced into building really. We didn't really want to. We had an earthquake situation, as you might have heard, in Christchurch, about a couple of thousand of them, and we just had to move and had to rebuild. We were red zoned, had to find a new section and build. And Paul, I'd done some work with Paul over a number of years. We'd worked on marketing projects and written articles for his website and things. And before I could write those articles on what he did, I had to get an idea of what the industry was all about. So we did some research, talked to other builders, got a bit of inside knowledge about what the industry does and how it does it. And the more I learned about the way Paul does business, the more I thought, wow, couldn't believe it's such a difference. Paul's company tends to be a smaller building company. They're not a major group home builder. And that's what attracted us most in the first instance. We knew who we were dealing with. You don't have different people turning up on the job every 5 minutes. So we thought, well, Paul's the one to go with years later when we had our own build to do. Well, when it came to working with a builder, both Kath and I were pretty nervous because we never built before. We'd always bought existing homes. So it was a very stressful time for us. We'd just been through earthquakes. Kath was under stress in work because the bank was cutting back on staff numbers, and we were both getting a bit older, and it was a pretty stressful time. We were really nervous about the whole thing. Of course, once the build's finished, it's a whole new ball game. I'm not saying we do it again. It still wasn't easy, but I think knowing what we do now about the way the company operates with Paul and you could say professionalism, you could say quality, all these words, everybody says the same thing. Fortunately for me, I did the research earlier when I was working with Paul, and I knew how Paul is different. I knew the way they operate. So nowadays, if anybody said about building, it wouldn't be a big issue, and I certainly wouldn't recommend anybody else except Paul. Where do I start? My wife's got different things to me, but one of the things I found personally was that having been forced into rebuilding, we had a budget. It was the insurance company taking care of it, so we had a fixed budget, and it just worked. It was just right on target. We didn't have any issues in terms of quality with materials. Paul always showed us a couple of samples within the budget, so we had the choice. Paul advised us on what would be better within that budget. So we started off and finished on exactly what we were planning on doing. Another thing we liked was just everybody was so approachable. We were welcome on site anytime we wanted. We just walk the dog past you every day, have a chat with the guys on site, see what they're up to, and got to know them as individuals, not just tradespeople. One of the things I found in researching other building companies over the years with Paul was that you tend to have fluctuating people on site every few days. That I think they describe as hammer hands. They just roll up, do the job, disappear again, and somebody else the next day. The other thing we liked about working with Paul was communication. It was easy. It's not a big company where you might be dealing with a salesperson one day, then some designers, then somebody else. It was ring up the office and talk to Paul or the builder. So if somebody said to me, well, we're looking for a builder, can you recommend anybody? I'd always say Paul Reed Homes. The main reason being they're a small company. They're not a major nationwide organisation with all the overheads, all the structure of the salespeople and the commissions everywhere. You're just dealing with a bunch of open, honest people that have a great system to follow, and they're not money men. They're in it for the quality of the build, the professionalism, and the satisfaction Paul gets. You should see the look on his face when he walked in and saw our house finished, painted and decorated. It was just like it was his house, not just our house. It was amazing to see that reaction, and that's why we do with Paul. If there was any criticism at all about dealing with Paul, it was his bum attitude of putting a lawn on the front because we're north-facing. The arguments and the discussions we had that went on. Don't put a lawn there, you'll never keep it green, and on. I wish my wife was here this morning to give him a smack around the ear because it worked out beautifully.